In today's modern gaming community, we are beset on all sides by further monetization, surprise mechanics, special editions, minimum viable products. But in these trying times, we often look back and see certain things as no longer being bad. Downloadable content, DLC, the bane of our existence. I bring you our reminder of horrors past, an entire adventure created around these predatory practices. Let's discover DLC Quest.
Joking aside, DLC Quest is clearly meant to take a jab at the rampant and exploitative DLC practices that have been being carried out by major corporations for all of the 2000s and the early 2010s, and ever since then, honestly, in growing ways. If you look on Going Loud's website, they try to say that it's a story of what happens when DLC goes too far, but there's enough pointed references and situations in the game that make it clear they know what they're doing. From unlocking a fishbowl that does nothing but be a fish, to random zombies for no reason other than zombies sell well, each unlock is either a reference or directly necessary to complete the game. They even included the infamous Horse Armor DLC, showing more knowledge and understanding about how ridiculous that arrogant display of greed was than Bethesda itself clearly possesses. You begin the game as the hero, except you can't do anything. You have been given a loan by the shopkeeper to begin your quest throughout the lands and rescue the princess. The world is covered in coins, which you must collect in order to purchase the DLC to complete the game. It's hard to explain each part of the world because so much of it is just unlock a new ability, go to the place where the ability allows you to go, get all the coins there, use those coins to get another ability, rinse, repeat, until you've reached the end of the game. While that might not sound like the most enjoyable experience, it's never so long as to feel like a burden. The ideas are fun and unique, and allow for some exploration without ever really leaving you feeling lost. The jokes are on point too, rarely leaning too hard on the, look, it's a thing, laugh at the thing and how dumb it is, we're not dumb, we're calling it dumb. The ending itself is well done, even including a secret twist that actually made me laugh aloud. I don't want to give it away, and a full recount of the game up until that point would be dry and boring. Overall, it's an excellent game, even if it's only about half an hour long. What's that? You don't feel that a little over a half an hour of tight, well-crafted gameplay with an excellent satirical message is worth your $3? Well, never fear. Bundled in with the same exact purchase in the same exact game is an entire sequel game upwards of 45 minutes in length. Live freemium or die. This adds over double the content. I'm sure after me spending this previous time eagerly praising the main game, it'll be just as quick to sing this expansion's praises, right? No. At first, the jokes are great, pointed, lots of fun, but remember what I said earlier when the joke just becomes, look, it's that stupid thing and it's in our game for no reason other than to point at it and say, isn't that stupid? We're not stupid. We're pointing it out, yes. But you did the thing still, for no other reason. The joke about the old man not being the head of the town, the younger, competent man just past him that was not only good humor, but working satire. Lamp shouting some gaming catchphrase and admitting it's stupid isn't either of those things. The first boss is fun, but when you beat the game and the shopkeeper refuses to let you win. He makes too much money off selling you the solutions to the problems he made, the game can't end yet. Instead, he locks the game behind yet more paywalls, taking the place of the real enemy in the story. The tight, creative world I had praised suddenly balloons excessively, areas having no real reason to exist or anything worthwhile to unlock to make traversal easier or to parody. Some worlds only exist to make a cheap reference. The entire level wasted on a reference. It was almost as if Going Loud Studios themselves had lost track of what made their game funny and satirical. Maybe they thought they were being so over the top that what they had portrayed would stand out as ridiculous and it could never be taken seriously. The shopkeeper as the final boss even sells you the sword that will let you attack and kill him, just because it means he'll get a few extra coins. But today, companies are their own worst enemies as they try to put as little into the game as they can to sell it to us later in a season pass. Billboards everywhere with drink soda wouldn't even be considered unusual product placement now. Companies sell us loot boxes to get a few extra dollars, even as lawmakers and consumers cry out for government regulation of this gambling industry that refuses to regulate itself. Live Freemium or Die is better able to act as satire of the industry than ever before. I think Going Loud Studios was into something. And when they put in the effort, they clearly have a skill for blending a fun, tight game with jabs at the industry and its faults. Unfortunately, I think they just didn't try as hard for Live Freemium or Die. There's only so angry I can be with that, given that it's seemingly a free, entire another game attached to a game people had already paid for. But at the same time, it did feel bloated and rough in places. DLC Quest itself was perfect, exactly as long as it needed to be, and often the mark of a good satire is how well does it hold up or become more relevant as years go by, and DLC Quest does exactly that. I would say that it's well worth a 9 out of 10. It does get held back a little bit by the bloated feeling that comes from Live Freemium or Die. Whether it's free or not, it prevents it from being a perfect 10 out of 10 by being outright unfun in some places to try and prove a point, and too much pointing and looking and trying to get the audience to laugh at the thing it's also doing humor. That prevents it from being a perfect 10 out of 10, but I would still highly recommend that everyone go out and try this game.